Howdy, 8th grade. Today we are going to be looking at simplifying expressions with symbols of inclusion. I hope what you're asking right now is, what is a symbol of inclusion? Well, that is when we have either parentheses or brackets or those weird squiggly parentheses, or if we have absolute value, that's a symbol of inclusion. And sometimes when we have a fraction with stuff on top and more stuff on bottom. And we're going to look and make sure we can do all of these, but we're going to go kind of with a few examples in here. The first one is going to be 9 minus the absolute value of 4 minus 6. So we're just doing absolute value, and we know that when we're doing an absolute value of a subtraction, that's just going to be the distance between the two numbers on a number line. I know the distance between 4 and 6 is going to be 2. That's going to give me 9 minus 2, not 9 minus 9. There we go. And that's going to give me 7. So, looking at this, what I did first was, I wanted to make sure I did everything inside the absolute value. Then I worked my way outside, and I was done. I want us to try one that's maybe a little bit harder. So this example is going to be 3 plus 5 times bracket parenthesis 9 minus 3 squared minus 6 bracket. There we go. So the first thing we're going to want to do is to look for our symbols of inclusion. In this case, that's the bracket and the parentheses. So now that we have that, we want to go to the innermost one. So the innermost one is going to be right here, and we're going to do the innermost first. So looking at this, we're going to start with that one right there. We have 9 minus 3. That's going to be 6. I'm going to end up with 3 plus 5 times bracket 6 squared minus 6. And now we want to go out, because we did this innermost parenthesis. We're going to go to the next one. What's going to be my brackets? So when I write that, I'm going to have 6 squared, which is 36, minus 6. So let me do that real quick. 5 times 36 minus 6. And 36 minus 6 is going to be 30. So once I'm done with that, 3 plus 5 times 30. Just like that, I am completely done with all of my symbols of inclusion. I can solve this like a normal problem. 5 times 30 is 150. I do the multiplication next. That would be 5 times 30 is 150. Then I add 3, and I get 153. And that would be my final answer. So I want to show one more that, as I said, was a little bit weird. Sometimes fractions are going to be our symbol of inclusion. So I want to show one with that. So one more example, which is 5 times 4 plus 2 squared plus 4 times 5 over 2. So in this case, I'm still going to start with parentheses, but anytime I see a fraction like this, the top and bottom, I'm going to assume there's parentheses on. So again, what's going to happen is that these are kind of like their own symbols of inclusion. So have invisible parentheses. And I'm going to do that in a different color so that you all know that's not part of the original problem. I'm just putting them there because they may as well be there. Let's keep going. Here I have one symbol of inclusion inside another, so that's going to be my innermost one. I'm going to start there. So I have 4 plus 2 is going to be 6, and that's going to be where I start. Whole bunch of this whole 6 squared thing today. I have plus 4 times 5 over 2. And I'm going to work inside this set of parentheses here, which is going to tell me that 6 squared is the next thing to do, because that's exponents, and I'm going to get 36. And of course, we do exponents before multiplication, because that's our order of operations. I only have 5 times 36, and that's going to give me 180. And I'm going to add to 180 my 4 times 5 over 2. So before I do anything else with the fraction, I'm going to pretend that this has parentheses on it, like I was saying. And that's going to be 4 times 5 is 20. So that's now 180 plus 20 over 2. I can simplify that, or just divide 180 plus 10, which is going to be 190, which I know has a lot of steps, but that's all the operations I had, and we just did them one at a time. And just like that, we should be good to go. I hope to see y'all in class tomorrow, and have a delightful day. Make sure that you do all the practice problems. It's just A through F. That means there's, 6 of them? And I believe in you. You should be able to do them with what we did today. So I will see y'all later. Toodaloo.